It just sounds so nice. Hi everyone, this is Chris here with Direct Infringement, and I just got in this brand new ZPAP M70 from Zastava USA. Let's check it out. Okay, so I guess we can call this an unboxing video, even though I've already taken it out of the box, cleaned it, re-lubed it, and all that stuff. So let's just go ahead and get it out of the box right now. In the box will come a manual, a little safety sheet, and a congratulations on your purchase. The rifle itself will be packed in this thick plastic sleeve. It'll have a nice light coating of grease, and it will also come with this 30-round steel magazine. Let's get this box out of the way and get into this rifle. So there's been a lot of talk about Zastava lately, ever since they made their press release about stopping any exports out of Serbia of their rifles because of the turmoil that's happening over there. So people have been going to buy these because of the fear that they might not be able to get any in the future. I don't know if that's the case. When I contacted Zastava, I was able to get this gun in a few days. He didn't say anything about them having a short stock or anything like that, or that he couldn't send it to me because of any issues. So I think everything is going to be fine. I'm going to do my best to get more information about that situation, and I'll update you on a later video about that. But for now, I think everything's good. Things seem to be in stock, all the different variants. So I don't think there's really any issues that we need to really worry about right now. So we can still get this really, really great Serbian imported AK pattern rifle at a very affordable price. So let's dig into this thing and let's see what features it has and what makes it different from other rifles. I'm not an expert, but I can give you a little bit of insight on that. So let's do that now. So like I said earlier, this is a ZPAP M70 chambered in 7.62 by 39 from Zastava. This version here is the fixed stock walnut wood version, and it is a beautiful, it's very well put together, beautiful looking, beautiful feeling. Very, very smooth action. It's just, from what I can see so far, obviously I haven't shot it yet. I just got this thing 2 days ago. But from what I can tell, just by the fit and finish and the overall feel of it, and from other videos that I watched on this particular rifle, I have no worries that it's going to be reliable and very fun to shoot. Now, when you receive this rifle, it is going to be covered, not caked, but it's going to be covered in a light coating of some sort of grease. I don't know if it's Cosmoline or just some sort of factory grease or oil that they use, but it's going to be a pretty good coating over most of the metal. The wood is clean, the wood's fine. Along with that oil, you will possibly find metal shavings. So when I first picked one of these up at the gun shop, I wound up getting like several little metal splinters in my fingers and hands. So what you want to do is, when you first get this, do exactly what I did. I took it apart, I wiped everything down, I re-lubed it, I greased up the friction parts, and now it's just super smooth, no burrs. Well, there wasn't any burrs, sorry. No metal shavings or anything to get in your hands. Likewise, the magazine. The magazine will also be caked in a decent amount of grease. Not really many metal shavings or anything on that, but just from handling it, your hands get really sticky and kind of gross. And so you want to just take everything apart, clean it, re-oil it, and then go to work with it. So that's just what I did, and I think that's a good thing to do. Let's start here at the back, at the buttstock. So what we have here, well, overall what we have here is a Yugo pattern rifle. So Serbia now used to be Yugoslavia. They make these rifles. They are a little bit different than any other AK-47, AKM pattern rifles Like I said, if I say something wrong, I'm sorry. Tell me in the comments, only if you have something insightful to say or anything that's going to be helpful, knowledgeable. But this is a Yugo pattern rifle, so it differs in a few different ways. I'll point out a few of those ways. I don't know every single way that they're different. If you want really good information, you can go to the Mishiko channel. That guy has so much knowledge about these rifles, European rifles in general. He's one of my favorite channels to watch. So shout out to Misha. Go to his channel, check him out. He's just overflowing with knowledge about these things. So this comes with a fixed stock. The difference between these and other AK-47 rifles, this fixed stock has a bolt that runs all the way from the end here down to the back of the receiver to the trunnion. And that is how this stock is attached, as opposed to other rifles where they have the tangs here at the top and at the bottom. So the cool thing about that is you can remove that bolt, take the stock off, and there's a couple of companies, I believe, that make a pick rail attachment with a shorter bolt. So you can bolt on a pick rail attachment to the back of this rifle, and you can pretty much fit, well, you can fit any stock that attaches via a Picatinny rail. So all the SIG stuff, all the MCX stuff, pretty much any kind of stock. I think the new Midwest Industries stocks do that, attach that way as well. So any of those will be able to attach to here. So you can really customize this thing. I really like that feature about this. If you do decide to upgrade any of the furniture, you have to make sure that you are purchasing Yugo pattern furniture or Yugo pattern parts for this thing, because this is not a regular AK-47. It differentiates in some minor ways, but those minor differences will prevent you from being able to attach those parts properly. So just make sure whenever you're ordering parts, you're ordering Yugo pattern parts for the ZPAPs. Also, along those same lines, we do have the optic rail attachment here on the side. Although it looks the same as other optic rail attachments on AK-47s, some of those mounts will not fit on here. I tried it myself, even though I knew. I wanted to show the guy at the gun shop. So I tried it myself. We tried to slide on one of the Midwest Industries optic rails on there. It does not fit. It does not go on all the way. So you need to make sure that you're buying the rail attachment that Zastava makes, and I believe UTG makes one for the Yugo patterns as well. There's probably some other companies that do, but I don't know off the top of my head, but I know those two do. So if you're going to get a rail attachment for this mount here, make sure you get the M70 or the Yugo pattern rail attachment or mount. So let's continue on then. We already talked about the stock. Same thing with the grip. I know that they do differentiate from other AK-47s the way they attach. I don't know specifically how, but if you're gonna get a new grip, make sure, my cat's messing with my stuff here, make sure you get Yugo pattern stuff. One of the special things about the ZPAPs, the receivers are 1.5 millimeter thick receivers. So most other AK-47 variants are 1 millimeter. I mean, people are going to tell you that it doesn't matter. It might not matter, but still, it's a nice little touch. It's a little bit thicker, a little more robust. People say it adds a tiny bit of weight, which can help with the recoil. So it's just another thing to be noted that they do have a 1.5 millimeter receiver on these, okay? Let's talk about the trunnions. So also comes with the bulged trunnion. So they're one of the only companies, I believe, to do this, especially commercially. As an importer, I think they're the only one. They have like a reinforced bulge trunnion here. So this thing is going to be rock solid. It's going to be extremely reliable, extremely robust, extremely strong. So, I mean, these rifles are workhorses. I mean, they're military rifles. So they're meant to last and they're meant to be workhorses. So another notable thing, the bulge trunnion. Front trunnion, I should say. Another difference with these rifles, you cannot just push the button in for the top cover here to take it off. There is another little side button here. So you need to depress the side button while you push the button for the top cover in, And that is how you take the covers off of these. It's just a little extra layer of protection or support, just to ensure that this doesn't come off randomly. I mean, I don't know if that's ever really been a big problem with AKs in the past, but it's something that they added. I believe it was something that was just in one of their contracts and they just went with it. So that's another thing. So let's talk about the trigger a little bit. I don't know much about the trigger. I know that there's like single hook triggers and double hook triggers. Believe this is a single hook trigger, but honestly, it's just a basic AK style trigger. Nothing really super special about it, but there's nothing bad about it either. It's very smooth. As you can see, this is unloaded. It's been unloaded the whole time. So I don't even have any ammo for this right now. It's just a single stage, smooth pull, and then it breaks. There's no stoppage, there's no wall, there's no grit. It's just a very, very clean, smooth AK style trigger. So that's pretty much all I have to say about that. Now let's talk about this bolt, because another way this differentiates, as you can see, along with just adding a very cool aesthetic look and style to this rifle that makes it look different, this bolt is not coated in any way. It is in the white. That's just something that they do. In my opinion, it runs nice and smooth. Everything is machined very well and very smooth. It is not rough at all. So that's just another thing that differentiates Zastava rifles, is they leave their bolts in the white. So the piston, all that stuff will be in the white. Your bolt carrier, your bolt, and I think it just looks cool. And while we're talking about that bolt, two other things differentiate this. One to do with the rifle, and one that has to do with the magazine that is supplied. This safety selector here, see this notch? Usually you don't see that notch there. Some people say that that's a detriment because it allows dust to get in here, whereas the other ones are made purposely closed so that nothing can get inside when the safety's on. I mean, who knows? I'm not going to be dragging this thing through mud and rocks personally, so I mean, it's just another one of those things people like to talk about and argue about, so that's whatever. But sometimes ranges, if you're shooting at a gun range, they make you lock your bolt to the rear, and with most AK-47s, you can't do that. So it's kind of a benefit with this is you use that notch to lock the bolt back. And I've also heard people say like, oh, it doesn't work. It doesn't actually hold the bolt and it slips right off and stuff. Well, I mean, as far as I can tell and from my experience with it, I mean, this thing is rock solid. That bolt's not going anywhere because, first of all, that notch is shaped perfectly and cut perfectly for the size of this charging handle. Second of all, there are notches cut in the receiver. So if you can see right there, there's a little notch. So that safety clicks into these notches and you can hear it clicking right into those. So once the charging handle is in the notch of the safety and the safety itself is in the notch of the receiver, it's not going anywhere. And the other feature that we talked about, or that we mentioned about the magazine, this follower also has a bolt hold open feature. Let's put this mag in. By the way, these mags, they seat in very smoothly. They feel really, really solid once they're in there, okay? That little bolt hold open follower, that works as well. So you can lock your bolt back on that magazine. And again, it's not going anywhere. It's staying locked on that follower, okay? So this is another feature that is specific to the ZPAP and to the Zastava rifles. You know, if you want to let the bolt slam forward, you just pull that mag out. If you want to do it nicely so that the bolt doesn't slam home, you can do it like that. But honestly, I don't really care either way. I think guns are meant to be kind of handled pretty firmly and roughly and let the action just do what the action does. Now, as far as the sights on this, I mean, this is To me, these are just standard AK sights. Goes up to 1,000 meters, and then you have your just standard front sight post that's hooded. Everything on this rifle, by the way, looks very straight. I know sometimes people say like rifles come in and they're canted, and especially some of those Romanian ones. I mean, if you're trying to save $300-400 to get a Romanian rifle, I guess they work fine, but I would save up a little bit of money and get one of these if it was me. I'd rather just have something that's going to last me a lifetime. So the sights are just basic sights. Does come with a cleaning rod that actually works. So you can take this cleaning rod out if you need to. All right, so let's move on to the barrel here. So this barrel is a 16 3/4 inch. It is a cold hammer forged and chrome lined barrel. So these barrels are very, very nice. They're going to be very durable and they're going to last a really long time. As far as accuracy, we'll test that out at a later date when we go to the range. They are threaded and they come with one of these little slant brakes or one of the little sugar scoops that Misha calls them. And they're threaded the basic 14x1 left-hand thread. So you can put whatever muzzle device or compensator you would like on here. All right, so let's talk a little bit about the coating now. I don't believe Zastava paints their rifles. It doesn't have that really dark black painted look that some of the newer rifles have. I think this is all just factory blued, and so it gives it a really nice, authentic looking finish, and I think it looks beautiful. We'll see how durable it is and how it holds up, but I think it'll be just fine. As far as the riveting, all the rivets look great. I don't see any issues with any of the rivets. I don't see anything that's like way off. I don't see any issues with that at all. Everything feels extremely tight. The dust cover itself has got a little bit of wobble to it, but I mean, I don't think that matters at all. I guess the last thing we can talk about is the magazine. These magazines are all steel. When you see the follower, it looks like some sort of maybe chrome lined follower or some sort of coating, or maybe it's just in the white still, but it's very shiny. The follower does say USA on it. Also, if you look at the floor plate, that also says USA. I don't know if you can pick that up or not. But those are going to be some of the compliance parts for the importation process. I don't know about the body of the magazine. I think the body might be made in Serbia, and then maybe just the internal components and the guts and the floor plate are made in the USA. Look, my cat's about to jump. Oh, she decided not to. Come here, Spook. Come on. Whoa! She wild. So anyway, the magazine, well, I'm pretty sure this takes other magazines as well. I don't think it's very finicky or picky with magazines, but these slide right in. And I mean, these magazines are awesome because they have the bolt hold feature too. So maybe I'll try and get a couple of other magazines, and when I do the second video at the range, we can test out some other magazines that fit with these and see how they run. But other than that, there's not much else I need to say about this right now because there's not much else I know. I mean, you got sling swivel right here on the bottom. You got a sling swivel right here on the side, left side. I do have a sling, like a Russian surplus sling coming in, so that's going to be on here by the time you see this again. So that's cool. I'm going to try and get one of the mounts for this, but then I'm also going to have to get a new optic because I don't have a really low, an optic with a low mount. So that's another, few $100s that I don't necessarily want to spend, but we'll see. We'll see how it goes. But I'd love to throw an optic on this thing and really take it out and see how accurate we can get it. But anyway, that is the ZPAP M70, chambered in 7.62x39 with the fixed stock, walnut wood, brand new, never been shot. It feels great, and I really can't wait to get out and shoot this. So, again, thank you guys for watching Direct Infringement. Look forward to making some more videos, and hit that like button if you would so please. Leave a comment. Let's talk a little bit about AKs. I'm not super knowledgeable about them, so I just know a little bit. Hopefully, now that I own one, I'll get to know a little bit more. But let's talk in the comments about some things that you like about yours, if you have one, some things that you don't like about it if you have one, or what your thoughts and opinions in general are about the platform. So thanks for watching Direct Infringement. This is Chris. I'll see you later.